Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I want to talk about MDrummer. There's many patterns in MDrummer, and there's lots of good stuff in there, but one of the things that I wanted some tom grooves, and I couldn't find those. And of course, I could just program them myself whenever I wanted them, or maybe find some MIDI. But I want to show you today how you can actually add them yourself, and that way later you can use them again and you can come up with variations, etc. So I'm going to show you how you can take the bass rhythms and then add tom grooves to them. So let's get started. So I just have an acoustic set here. I'll let you listen to it. It sounds like this. Okay. Let's go to the rhythm generator. I'll just show you something really fast. So the bass rhythms, you're probably wondering what those are. And if I have an empty bass rhythm like this, let's say I have just bass drum, snare like this. So I play it. So it's not much there. What these bass rhythms will do is generally they add things like cymbals. So let's say if I choose pop rock here, choose this one. So as you can hear there, now it has cymbals added to this, and there's lots of variations for different types of music, etc. Go in here like fusion style, rock style, different hip-hop styles, etc. But let me just choose one. Let's see, max crash. So if you look here at the level, each one of these will shift through different cymbal takes like this. And so having these different cymbals allows you to add something to different parts of the song. So maybe you want the verse to be here at a lower level, and then at the chorus you move it to a different level. If you've seen my other videos before, you probably understand what this does. And then you use generate all, and it'll give you fills and other things, etc. But what if you think like here, like I like this, but I want some like tom stuff in here too. I'll show you how you can do that. So let's go into the rhythm editor here. As you see, we have a bunch of things in here for the beats and the breaks and everything, but let's just clear that at first. So clear, okay? Now, what we had over here before, we're using max crash. And we can actually load this in here with none of the bass and snare drums in here. And that way we can just edit it by itself. So let's go into here and just click load. And you'll see all these different patterns, but these will have the bass drum and snare drum in there. If you go into bass rhythms, then it won't have it. So we'll just move into here, bass rhythms, pop rock, and we had, max crash, I believe it was. And click on that and okay. So now if we look in the beats, all we have is just like hi-hats here, open hi-hats, ride cymbals, crash cymbals, etc. And these are all good, but what if I wanted some tom grooves? You can actually add those yourself. So I could add them here, but what I really want to do is let's add them here in these black keys. So here I'll go into this, and let's just change this open hi-hat to tom. Let's change it to floor tom 1, change this one to floor tom 2, and let's just come up with a really basic groove for this. So I'll go into here, make sure all these are zeroed out. So I'll just alternate it here. And I won't put it hit here, just because this is going to be the snare. And I'm assuming my drummer wouldn't do that. But I don't know. I'm not a drummer, so I don't know if they'd actually do that or not. But just my feeling. Like this. And now if I play this. It sounds okay. Let's hear it with that bass drum and snare. I'll just add this just so you can hear it like this. Now that's what I want, but there's a few things that aren't so good. So one thing I would tell you to do in here is go in here and make sure the velocity range is down a little bit. That means that when you're at these lower notes here, like C, everything is going to be down in volume. As you move up, it's going to increase the velocity. But I already set that, so that's already good there. I had it 50 and 100%. But now I think, the toms are just a little bit too loud. So what I'm going to do is just going to highlight all these, and we can go into our velocity here and just pull them down. Ooh, went up too high. Down, 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 like this. Now let's hear it. I can pull them down even a little bit more. Another thing I probably want to do is change the deflection for these. Deflection, it adds randomness to the amount of velocity, so maybe it'll be sometimes slightly harder, sometimes slightly lighter, and just add a little bit of inaccuracy so it's not right on the beat. There we go. Now from here, I think I don't really need this snare and this bass drum. We don't want them here. I just wanted to do that just so you could hear it. So now let's just delete these, and then we're going to right click here, and it says delete unused tracks. So now we just have that. And this one is ready. So we're going to take this here, and now click this. This is our copy. Move to the next one, and we're just going to paste it. Do the exact same thing, delete unused tracks. And let's do the same thing. Let's just move the velocity up a little bit. So play the first one here, and then I'll move to the second one. You can hear it's just a little bit louder. No, that's pretty good. I'll copy this and let's move it up here, paste it, and then delete unused tracks. Now let's start adding something a little bit more interesting. So now let's add, let's do this first. So go in here, I'm going to add 2 hits here on the 1 and 3 like this. And actually, I should turn that up a little bit. Actually, turn them all up a little bit. Oh, they're not highlighted. That's one of the things. You have to make sure you have all these highlighted and they're on this pointer before you start moving things up like that. Okay. Move this one up just a little bit more. Oh, I'm an inaccuracy. Don't do that. That's another thing. Make sure here you're on the right setting. So move this up. Same thing here. Move this up. And I want these two, not that, first hits to be a little bit louder than everything else. And this one to be like that. Highlight these two. First one really far up. Next one like that. Now let's hear this. That's pretty good, but one of the problems I'm having is when these two are hit at the same time, it's just too perfect. It sounds like a layered drum, and I don't want that. I want it to sound like 2 different drums being hit. So what I'm going to do is, the first one, I'm going to use the offset now. So let's move the offset really high up like this. And do the same thing over here. Actually, I don't think I need to highlight those. But let's hear it now. That's a little bit too much. Now that's seeming pretty good. And let's just do maybe like 1 or 2 more variations. I'll try to do these quickly. Delete unused tracks. Turn it up a little bit more. Let's add in another tom here. Move this up just so it's a little bit more organized. And then let's do something like this. Okay, that's good. And let's just do 1 more copy here. And for the last one, I'll paste it again. Delete unused tracks. Move my tom up. Let's add 1 more tom here. Insert track. Let's try tom 2. And this time, don't move everything up. Just move 1 up, like this. Let's hear this. So now we have our tom grooves here, and now let's save it, number one. So we can go in here. I have this for myself, so just Chan, and I'll lay this tom grooves. Save it here. Should be saved. I just want to make sure. Okay. And from here, what we can do is go back into our rhythm generator and just find that at the very top, tom grooves. Now, when I play it, it should be added in there. I'll go up the level so you can hear it. And then when you go and generate all like this, you can look in your rhythm editor. And now we have intros, but we also have those beats with the tom grooves. And I can switch between the tom grooves, the cymbal beats, and breaks, fills, etc. This, I think, is a really good way if you want some more variety, and it's fairly fast. I went a little bit slowly. You can go faster or slower if you want, but this is a good way to get some more variations if you're looking for some. And I don't believe there's any tom grooves in here, although I could be wrong, but you can add those. Don't think it's just cymbals, although that's what it seems like. Those bass rhythms can have other things in there to really spice up your sound. So definitely check that out and play with it yourself. I hope you enjoyed this and you kind of learned something from it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.